All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, March 24th, 2022. So we had a lower open here on the spiders, or well, actually a flattish open here on the spiders, and ultimately just more chop here, and then kind of a rally into the afternoon, and then a little bit more chop, and now we're powering up here. So we never really got to my target. There's a triple Qs there. We never really got up to that 353 area that I said that we would get up to. So I think there's a good chance we go up there and tag that. And I know this market's overbought and it's a little extended short term, but this is not, again, like I said yesterday, this is not a sell the rip environment. We had, if you go back to literally a week ago, we had as many bears in the market as we did in March 2020. I showed you guys the bull bear ratios, bull bear percentages. It takes time to remove that condition. And I saw a lot of bear charts getting erased yesterday and the lines redrawn. There's a lot of backpedaling going on. And as you can see on the futures, we didn't really have a serious reaction off of that 4510 area, 4510 area. But we had a one-day pullback, and I saw a lot of bear charts get really excited last night. Oh, this is going to be it. It's going down, and we're right back up today again. There's no liquidity. Look at the volume here. 45 million shares traded. It's almost 3:30. I'm doing this video a little early because there's really, it's such a quiet market. This is the type of conditions we're in. And I said this yesterday. You never want to short a dull market, and market's popping up here into the final half hour of the day, and it's led higher by Nvidia. Semi's really getting a push right now. And, this can take time to work off, it can take a little time to work off this condition here. Again, when you have this many bears and you have this many people shorting the market and buying puts, it doesn't just flip to fear to euphoria overnight. So, this can take time to play out. It might take a few weeks to play out. It might take a month to play out. Just because we're overbought doesn't mean that we are going to have a pullback. It could just mean that we're going to, push around and chop around. And then, maybe, who knows, we could even have another leg up. I do expect these pivots here around 458 on the spiders to be major resistance. 460, 458, that area. But for the time being, the market's really, it's short-term overbought, but there's no problems. There's not a lot of volume. Look at the volume declining here. There's not, that means institutions aren't buying, but it also means that there's no real sellers out here either. So this market can hang in this area for a little while here. All right, so let's go take a look here. Let's flip over to the VIX. So VIX getting hit. I told you guys it was going to get to that 22 area. That's where it got today. It broke right through that. So I think 20, this pivot down here, this big green bar low, 200 moving average, that even 20 handle is probably going to get defended, and that should coincide with this 253, 254 area here on the spiders. I just did a little quick calculation intraday, and I think I had this going up to 452 just based off an intraday move, and that would coincide with 361, I want to say, on the triple Qs. So we'll see if we get up there maybe tomorrow. Going into the weekend, we'll see what we get. But again, this market's holding up right now. And the triple Qs are strong. Let's take a look at the IWM here. So we talked about the weakness in the IWM yesterday. That did reverse today, so now up 1%. Nice little tail candle. I actually don't mind this pattern here. And again, remember a few weeks ago I talked about the potential for a WV. Well, you could make a case you kind of got one, right? So, you've got like a move down and then up and then down. So there's your W, and then this pullback is a V. So a nice little pop there, and then, a little pullback today in the morning, little dip, and then a little tail candle right into these moving averages starting to curl up. So nothing wrong with the Russell right now. Again, I don't know if it can get much through 210 at the moment, but a nice pop. So, Russell's looking okay. The diamond looks okay. This looks like bullish chop to me at a little outlier candle on Tuesday, but bullish chop there, nothing wrong. And the triple Qs are strong. The triple Qs are leading. When the NASDAQ leads, that's a sign of strength for the market. So you don't want to be stepping in front of that. Inside of tech today, look at Nvidia, the big story of the day, up almost 10%. Huge blast there, up 24 points on Nvidia. Take a look at Apple here. So everybody thought that's Advanced Auto. Everybody thought that, Apple had to. I thought Apple would pull back 2 days ago. It didn't. It's pushing up. This will get up to 175 likely. Everybody wants to short these. Everybody wants to short Tesla right now. Don't get in the way of this right now. Let the market tell you when it's time to short, but that's not right now. The market is, there's not a lot of volume, and I know these levels are good. Don't get me wrong. Tesla went up right into resistance yesterday. 1037, I had a major level there, and it reacted nicely off of that, but it's hanging on today. It's up, it's up 1.5% today. So take a look here at even some of these weaker names. Look at Netflix. That's a good bullish pattern there. So, you had this lower low, kind of a fake breakdown, bear trap, and now up and going sideways here. Nothing wrong with that. I like that pattern there on Netflix. That can actually probably get through 400 now. Facebook, same thing. Went down here, had this bear trap kind of move, and then up sideways. Now starting to hammer on this 220 area. That can get up there. And, there's nothing to say this can't get back up to 240. If we get a nice, if this gets a little lift under it and the market pushes higher. So, some of these beaten down. By the way, some of the smaller mid-cap beaten down names, look at PayPal. That's a nice bullish inside bar there on PayPal. Take a look at Roku. Same deal there. Roblox, I talked about this one. This nice little bullish chop there. Zoom, bullish inside bar here. This is one we made money on last week, but this is starting to push sideways. So there's nothing wrong with these tech names right now. And a lot of the time you get a zigzag up off the lows. And I think that's probably what we're going to see here. And, that's typical of a bear market, but, I know everybody wants to short right now, but you can't step in front of the market when there's no volume. So just bear that in mind. Anyways, semiconductors here, obviously off the back of NVIDIA. That looks like it wants to close back above its 200-day moving average. We still got about 30 minutes left in the trading day, so we'll see what happens here. I mean, we did get a little premature push here. We'll see if the shorts cover a little bit more, if they try to push it back down, and see what happens here. But either way, you slice it, a nice little push there on the semis. And again, move up 1, 2, 3 inside bar and then a pop. So, nothing wrong with that pattern. IGV, same deal. Again, a little outlier candle on Tuesday, but ultimately still a nice upright straight pattern there, a 90-degree angle. Nothing to say this can't get back up to maybe 360 or so. So IGV holding up okay. Dow Transports, I continue to really like this pattern here. You had a little downdraft yesterday, but popping back up today. And we'll see where they close it, but ultimately this is all just bullish inside bar. And I still think that 17,000 area gets satisfied. Take a look at the Jets here. I love this pattern, nice upright positioning and getting a bit of a bid today. A pop tomorrow would give you a strong weekly candle on this. So nice move off the lows. It got down to that gap fill we talked about, pierced through it on some panic, had good volume at the lows, and now kind of reversing there. So I don't really see anything wrong with the transports. And as long as we'll talk about energy in a minute, but if energy continues to pull back, that is going to help the transports big time. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get into yields first. So yields kind of, basically flat. I mean, it is green, up almost 1% today, but this is basically, starting to have like a flattish type pattern here. Same thing on the 30-year, although 30-year pulling back a little bit more sharply. Again, they got a little overbought here. I said they needed to pull back, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing. I'm not convinced that this is necessarily a top yet, though, in yields. So, and mainly my reasoning for that is we're not seeing any sort of reaction in the market. If there was fear going on right now, the VIX would have spiked, the bonds would have spiked, and the market would have sold off. But we're not quite seeing that just yet. So I'm not convinced we're seeing necessarily a top in yields yet. But we'll continue to watch it. And high yield HYG here continuing to hold up. Still inside of this big red candle, so that's your negative. But for now, it's hanging on. It's trying to hold on to this 20 moving average and ride it. If this rolls over, that is a big negative. But if it can pop higher, obviously that is a positive. All right, moving on here to fins. So XLF, again, outlier candle on Tuesday, but ultimately just kind of like bullish chop here. XBD, broker dealers, same kind of deal. Sharp move up and then an upright pattern. JPM, outlier on Tuesday. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, same thing. Goldman, moving up little. It's kind of a weaker pullback pattern here, but this one on Morgan Stanley is not bad though. So this one got hit pretty hard, had a little zigzag up, and now potentially, making a little pullback pattern there, maybe for a shot back at 98, possibly 100 if it really gets a bid here. But financials starting to shape up just a little bit better here. Home builders also showing a little bit of weakness again today. So keep these on your radar for pattern on the weekly time frame. But these are telling you that they're not strong right now. And if the market does have a leg lower, these are going to be weak names. And carnivores like to attack the weak names. You see a lion in the savannah, they don't go after the strong gazelle. They go after the one with the broken leg. So if we're going to short something, this is the area you want to look at here. These are telling you they're weak. And look, they're below all their moving averages. They're not participating in the rally. Keep that on your radar. Anyways, VNQ, a little bit of an outlier, less of a home builder, more of a real estate ETF. But you lost that green bar low yesterday, so that is a negative. And you closed back below this trend line. So again, holding up better than the ITB and XHB, but ultimately showing weakness altogether. All right, so energy here. XLE somehow managing to be flat here. Chevron did fade off a little bit. Let's take a look at Exxon. Exxon flattish. XOP did get up to double top. So that's a higher high, but it did get a double top. We'll see what it does tomorrow. OIH, potentially a lower high, and XLE, potentially a lower high here too. But the big thing I'm watching, really, crude is really going to dictate everything. That finally got up to my 116 area and satisfied that target. I told you guys it was going to get up there. So that did happen. We are pulling back off that level. Now, again, what I've been saying really the last couple of days, really the last week, is do we make a lower high? If we make a lower high, then it's potentially down. I mean, you're going to have some support at this green bar around 103, 104. And at 100 psychological number, you got this tail high, but we got through that before. So basically, if you take this pivot out here and this trend line, we could probably extend that here. If you take this trend line out and this 50 moving average, you're going right down to 85. So just be aware of that. Again, one day does not mean that it's going to, do that, but it did pull back pretty nicely off that 116 area. So anyways, nat gas here continuing to power up. Really wishing it gave me one more consolidation day earlier this week. I was looking to jump on this one, but nice breakout there. Little triangular pattern and a push here. It will stall out at 5.5. I don't know if it can get much through that without doing some backing and filling, but nice little pattern there. And yeah, nice move for nat gas. So overall, you close above this red bar high by tomorrow would be a huge positive for Natty. But ultimately, yeah, I don't really see anything wrong with the chart there. Dollar index, really more of the same from yesterday. Just kind of, he needs to do a lot more weekly consolidation. It's into a lot of resistance up here, and that's why it's stalling out. I don't really have a clear direction on it right now. I do think it needs to pull back a little bit though. Gold having a nice day. So I talked about this really all week long. I don't like being inside of this red bar. We're outside of that red bar now. We're probably going to close above that, barring a major sell-off in the next hour or two. So nothing wrong there. The problem is GDX is starting to pull back. GDX negative, it had a gapped up and then kind of a gap and crap day. So again, watch these miners. They're going to tell you the story. The miners are going to tell you the story as to whether or not gold is going to make new highs right now, or if it's going to go into corrective mode. That will be the leading indicator. Silver, nice day. Finally got out of this sloppy, kind of crappy range, really. But you got to get above this red bar high. But, having a nice day, though, up 2 3/4%. SIL, again, getting up to that 200 moving average and rejected again. So, again, that 200 moving averages get rejected. So that's not a good look. You got to see it get above that. SILJ, this ironically looks a lot better than the SIL. And it's holding up really well. I don't hate this pattern at all. But I think it needs to do a little bit more consolidation. If it can break out, then silver will break out. That's going to be your leading indicator there. But again, watch the miners. They're going to tell you whether or not gold is going to break out or pull back. Palladium, kind of an inside day here. Again, nothing really major going on. Same thing with, that was platinum. This is palladium. Really nothing going on here on the chart. This is just inside of this wide range red bar right now. So I think it's got to do a lot of work before it can do anything else. Anyway, copper also getting rejected. I told you it was going up to that 4.8 area, and that's where it got. Now getting a reaction off of that. Still nothing terrible though. If this can go sideways a little bit, then it can probably attack those highs again. But if it starts pulling back sharply, you don't want to see it close back below 463. I'm interested to see where we get, where we end the week on copper. If we have a major sell-off, that'll be a negative tomorrow. But if it holds up, then it's safe for now. All right, ultimately, let's flip back over to the coin. So coin's having a nice day. There we go. Coin's having a nice day. So Bitcoin hammering on this trend line. See if we can get a close above that. We can get a close above that. And again, this is an exact trend line. You could make a case, if you could say, oh, this is the actual trend line. I'm just going by this because this has more hits. So either way, it's right on the cusp of a potential breakout. and looking good. And again, what I say here every single day, the coins are leading, they've been a leading indicator. Ether, nice little move today. We talked about this breakout, little back test too. Look at that, up, little back test there, and now a pop. So this looks like it's poised to head up to that 33 handle. I don't really see anything wrong here. They're holding up okay. Maybe a little bit short-term overbought. This may run into some resistance around 3,200. It's possible. You got this pivot here, this red bar, but this is the bigger level. You got this backing it as well. So it's going to have trouble in that area, and that may coincide with that 353, 354 area on the spiders. So again, continue to watch these coins. They tell you a lot. The Russell 2000 tells you a lot, and so does Tesla. Watch those three indicators every single day. But coins holding up for now. Again, the big area of resistance here is around 48,000 in this major trend line. If it can't get through that, which I don't think it will, then Bitcoin could have some major problems ahead. But for right now, it's holding up just fine. All right, anyways, let's see. We got about 15, 20 minutes left in the trading day. Let's see where the spiders are at. Yeah, a little pullback there off the highs. Nothing really going on, though. Nice little push there and a pullback on the triple Qs, a little reversal on the diamond. But ultimately, nothing really wrong here. I don't see anything going on. Volatility is not getting a big bid here, and the volume's not exactly picking up in a major way. Look at 48 million shares at 3:41 p.m. here on the spiders. That is like August volume, guys. That's August volume. Let me look at, that's pretty much August volume. 30, 40 million shares. And, a week ago, we were at, 100 million, 80, 100 million shares traded. 122 million is our 50-day moving average on volume. So look at how steep of a decline here we've got. Market's really in pause mode. And again, we're overbought short term. We had a huge rally, but, I wouldn't pick up any shorts unless it's an absolute perfect setup in this environment. I know everybody's itching to short. I know everybody wants to get short, but you got to let the market tell you. And you don't always have to be the first one to the party, by the way. So, just keep that in mind, and that'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Take care. I am doing a course on Saturday for everybody who bought my course. We're doing a little review webinar. So if you want to get in on that, come find me on carnivoretrades.com and sign up for the course there. Outside of that, come find me on carnivoretrades.com. We have swing trading service, and we're absolutely killing it this year. So if you want to get in on that, this is going to be a swing traders market pretty much for the rest of the year. At least I think so. And it has been an awesome market for swing traders so far. But anyways, guys, take care. Wrap it up here. You guys have a good rest of your night, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.